In this video, we will speak about the prevalence of antimicrobial resistance in hospital and sewage wastewater. So, if you see this graph, you will see that the sewage treatment plants, which receive only domestic waste, when this domestic waste sample was analyzed, around 25% of resistant E. coli strains were observed. In sewage treatment plants which were receiving waste from both domestic and hospitals, there was around 70% resistant strains of E. coli. And if you look at the sewage treatment plants which receive just hospital waste, you can see that it's a soaring 95% resistance in E. coli that is observed. This shows that there is prevalence of AMR in both hospital and domestic waste, and that shows how common the incidence of AMR strains has become. And this is just about E. coli. We don't know about the other organisms that might be present in these samples. Similarly, there are several studies which have been carried out to look for prevalence of AMR genes in rivers. And you will be shocked to see that the studies have been carried out in several rivers of the country like Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri. Other rivers in different states have also been studied, and E. coli and other bacterial species have been tested for the prevalence of antimicrobial resistance. And it's a shocking 100% resistance which is seen against ampicillin, cefotaxime, 75% against ciprofloxacin. Again, resistance towards cephalosporin and imipenem has also been observed. Several antibiotic resistance genes have been isolated from microorganisms which were found in these river bodies. Similar studies have been also done on ocean and mangrove ecosystems, and that too has given shocking data wherein the resistance gene profile in microorganisms found in this ecosystem is really very high, and that is quite disturbing. If you also look at prevalence of AMR in surface and groundwater, you will see that water in the holy ponds, tube well, dug wells, streams, lakes, springs have also been analyzed, and several organisms like E. coli, Klebsiella, Salmonella, which were isolated from these water samples, when tested against different antibiotics, you can see that they show resistance towards several antibiotics, which is again very disturbing, because ultimately this is the water that is consumed by all of us, and we are talking about presence of resistance genes in organisms which are found in these water samples. So that is indeed quite a disturbing scenario. This is just a picture, it's just a trailer of the entire scenario that is there right now in India about AMR. There are so many ecosystems that we have not yet tested, or we don't have the data right now available with us. There are so many people who are also looking for prevalence of antimicrobial resistant organisms and genes in localities surrounding us, including public places, to understand how frequently do we come in contact with such organisms on a day-to-day basis. And that shows that at what rate AMR is progressing in our country. In the videos ahead, we will speak more about this scenario in detail and try and understand that what are the kind of research studies that are happening in the country to deal with this given scenario. Because to first, it is very important first to understand the scenario before we plan the steps against this specific fight that we all have to deal with at this given point of time, as it is the need of the hour. So stay tuned for more of such information which will follow up in the next video.